Go.
Welcome to Reaching Out Ministries. We have an interesting presentation for today. Samantha Grover is going to share her testimony how Jesus Christ has changed her life.
Hi, my name's Samantha Louise Grover, and I was born August 21st, 1981 at Franciscan Scamp Hospital in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I'm the oldest at 38, almost 39, coming up, and I have two brothers and two stepbrothers and a half-sister, or sister as I call her, and I'm the oldest of them all, and so that was a challenge and a treat, because if they did something wrong, I had to, I got in trouble for it, the slack, as the older one. Anybody that's out there that knows that's older. But anyway, I attended GET School District, and my parents, well, we lived on a farm between Gellsville and Centerville, Wisconsin, and my parents were together long enough to have me and then my two brothers, and then when I was 7, they officially divorced. When I was 6, going into kindergarten, my mom, I remember she just took off in her little red car and left us, and that was a scary time, and she would come back and visit every now and then officially when I was like 7, so first grade, they officially divorced each other, and my mom moved to Winona. So we would see her on the weekends and in the summer a lot, and I kind of missed my dad. When I was with my dad, I missed my mom, and vice versa, because I wanted them to get back together, but my dad always said, "We love you guys very much, but we're just not in love with each other." And my mom just always said she was too young. She was only 18. So anyway, when she got married. So she just said she was too young and never should have got married, but she still loves us. But anyway, in school, in first grade, I was diagnosed with a cognitive disability, ADHD to be exact now, it's called, but it was cognitive then, and was in special ed classes, special education, had to leave classrooms for tests and different things, and that was hard because my dad, he was a single parent raising us during the school year, and then in the summers, like I said, we go to our moms on the weekends, but it's supposed to be 50-50 custody, but my dad had the majority of us through school, and it was just tough. It was hard because of the fact that I wanted them to be together, but they couldn't, and then putting that label on me was tough enough, and my dad didn't know how to handle me very well. I mean, he tolerated me, but I think he liked my brothers because they could do farm work, or when they got older, they could do stuff. But for me, it was like, he didn't know how to handle me, so my grandma, his mother, was the one that really, I really looked up to her and thought of her as a really, like, almost not just like a grandma, but like a second mother to me, because she used to be a school teacher for 30 plus years, and she just really knew what she was doing with kids, and so she took the time to sit and listen with me and, help me with schoolwork and help me with, all the stuff that needed to be done. And, but I just hated school and and everything. And once I got older and got out of high school, got out of school in 2000, May of 2000, when I graduated, which this year it'll be 20 years I've been out. But anyway, I was just so happy to be out of school because, I worked really hard because they told my dad and my mom that I could have stayed in 2 extra years in school, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I worked real hard to try to, get out of school so I could be the first one to graduate than my brothers, because I hated, being labeled and everything, and all the struggles that I had, and my dad and my mom just didn't know what to do with me. It's like, my mom was out doing her own thing, working at Sprint in Winona and working at this other place as a bartender and doing all this other stuff. And at the time, we had a stepdad that we had for 5 years. He was an Hispanic guy, but anyway, they divorced after 5 years. And then my mom got remarried later to another guy with 2 other kids, so I had 4 brothers.
So how did you process all of this?
Well, it was tough. It was tough because I was the only girl and the only one with a disability, quote unquote, and the only one that, I just felt like I was, way out over here and, and all that stuff. But, that was hard, tough to process because when I turned 12 then, my dad had gotten remarried to a gal, and they had my little sister, that same year, because she was pregnant, so they got married, and that was tough.
You were just kind of left behind.
Yeah, I was left behind. Yeah, I was kind of left behind for a long time, and then when my sister came along, I'm like, I was happy, but, kind of like you with your sisters, like 10 years difference, we were 12 years of difference, and it was tough. And it's hard because, we didn't have that connection very well. Now that we're older, we kind of do, but, still there's 12 years.
So how did you process this?
Well, when I found out that my dad they were going to have another kid, I was kind of happy, but kind of not, because I wanted my dad and my mom to get back together.
Yeah, you wanted them to love you.
Yeah, I wanted them to love me and get back together, and simply put, my dad said, I've got this, your mom will never be replaced and stuff, but we love you very much, but your mom and I are not getting back together. Your stepmom and I are together now. We're having this kid, and this is another sibling. But, it was hard to process even when she came along that how come we left to go with our mom, but my sister didn't get to go with. Well, it wasn't my mom's, but that was the tough part too, was thinking, well, we're going away, she should come with.
So what did you do about all of that?
Well, for a while, I went with my mom and visited her, but then after a while, I stopped going. I put up a fight so bad that I stopped going. So my grandma, my dad's mom, told me I didn't have to go then. She was the one that said, well, don't make her go. She's getting so upset, she's throwing up and everything else. Doesn't want to go. I didn't want to go, so my brothers went, but I never went then for quite a while. So maybe I got into, high school, and then I just started going again and visiting her. And then she moved back to the area here, when I was like
So how did high school go?
Well, it wasn't very fun. It was okay. I was in band. I was in track for a couple years. I was in, couple other AV club and some other things, but it just wasn't, very fun because I was one of those that would get picked on. There was a bunch of us kids that were in special ed together, all different disabilities, of everything you could think of, and we usually had lunch together first period, and we just called ourselves the Lunch Bunch Losers Club because we were all together like 2 round tables of kids that, were everything from ADHD like me to someone in a wheelchair that were all in one group, and we just called ourselves the...
So what did you think about that?
Well, at first I thought it was kind of cool to have friends that were like me, but yet we always got picked on and teased. And I remember getting shoved in a locker once by a senior and just picked on and ridiculed and,
Did any of the teachers or anybody help you?
One teacher tried to help me, the art teacher did, because I remember a time when I was like, I don't remember what grade I was in, but I loved art. If I could have, I would have been an art teacher, or a history teacher for that matter, but I was in art class all throughout high school, and we were working on decoupaging stuff, and the stuff, some of the glue and whatever, couple of the kids took some sawdust and some glue and some other stuff and put it on the chair, and I didn't see it, and then I was sitting in the chair and I couldn't move, and then they were laughing at me, and I'm like, well, it was the last period of school, and then I'm like, well, now I have to ride the bus home. Well, my dad gave them, was really pissed, and the teacher was like, sent them to the principal and made them stay after, and I don't know all the other details, but it was just, that sticks out of my mind of how they did that. They were the same age as me and the same grade as me, but they picked on me, these two.
Sure.
That are now passed away. They both have passed away now.
What happened after you got out of school?
Well, after I got out of school, I was working at the nursing home in the area where I was going to school when I was in school, right across the street. So I was working there for a while, and then got let go from there, and started working with DVR, Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, to find me a job. And then I finally got on Social Security and started, because I had that job for about 5 years, but it was a struggle because, I didn't have the help and I didn't have the placement like I did when I, had the job I have now or other jobs I've had, and then, I tried to go to school, I tried to fit in, go to college like my brothers did, because I thought I should do that too, but that was a joke.
So you've made some real changes in your life.
Yeah, I've tried to, because I thought at the beginning that job at the nursing home in the town would have been the place I would have stayed at until they buried me, pretty much. I loved it, but it just got to be where they said you're everywhere, bouncing all over.
Yeah, what was your social life like?
Well, my social life, I would get paid. When I was still working, I would get paid, because back then it wasn't direct deposit, so I got the check. I wouldn't pay any of my bills. I lived on my own. I wasn't paying my bills. I was spending it on my so-called friends, and just spending it all and drinking and partying. And
were you ever homeless?
I was pretty close to it till my mom, I was ready to go live in my car, or not my car, I didn't have a car then, but ready to go live in a friend's vehicle with them. But then my mom found out and took me back to her place, so I wasn't homeless for more than a day, really. But I could have been, easily.
So what caused the change?
Well, after a while, because I was still going to the Catholic Church, and still, living that way with my family, and I would go and pretend like everything was normal, and then, after a while I quit going, I started everything, but once I, finally came to the realization in 2006, after a couple years or so, or a year and a half of watching your guys' program, and the round table, and the Livingstone sing-along and Bible thingy, on 18 religiously while my mom was at work, and my dad was, obviously wasn't there either, so nobody was home to see what I was watching, and I would watch the program and call in a lot to your program, and then I just hung on with every word and just listened to all 3 of those programs that I mentioned, and very faithfully. And I'd still watch them today if they were on, yours is, but I would watch them all the time. And that just really filled me up, because I'm like, oh, here's these 2 people that, know the truth, and then on the route got a Bible free, because it said, call in and you can get this to this number, to this lady that was on the program, and get a woman's Bible by T.D. Jakes. So I did that and would hide it under my pillow for a long time, and then, I finally, decided that, once I moved to Arcadia and started working at the nursing home there, that this was just...
So how did your life change?
Well, my life changed a lot. I met some people at a garage sale that came to the garage sale, some other friends of mine, that because they had all these things on on the outside of their house, about Jesus as Lord and this scripture and that scripture, and they wanted to come see what was, what they were all about. And I got to know them, and through that, I finally got baptized at a church they were going to at the time. And, some of us went up there from the little house church I was going to, and I got baptized, and it really changed me, because I was going to this house church, and then right across the street was the Catholic church, and I was going to both of them. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't working. What they're telling me and what you guys were telling me on the program and what Good News Roundtable was telling me is a lot different than what, this church is telling me. And then I finally got the revelation, sitting in my friend's kitchen, looking at the church. I said to her, I'm done. She said, done with what? Well, I'm done over there. The revelation just popped in. I can't be doing two things at once. I was getting so confused. But then once I got baptized, I said to my friend, I said, boy, I feel like lighter than air. Everything just came new. I wanted to tell everybody.
So then you came to reaching out?
Then after that, their church broke up, so I was going to a church in Alaska, and then that didn't work out. I mean, it was for a long time, but there were some problems there and whatever, so I just left that, which I was told to leave. So I left, and I'm like, well, where am I supposed to go? I have no place to go. I don't know where to go. I'm in Whitehall, and I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know anything. And the same couple that had their home church said, we've been out at reaching out sometimes before. I mean, maybe you'd like to try them out. And I'm thinking, I said, are those the same people that are on the TV? Yeah, they said. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And then I came for a while, then didn't come, then came and didn't come. And finally in October of maybe, 2014 or something, or whatever it was, like that, I finally
So how has your life changed after you've given your life to Christ?
Well, after I gave my life to Christ, it's changed a lot because I don't go out drinking. I don't like to, party. I mean, I like to party, but it's a different kind of party, and it's not drinking or, all that other stuff. I could be, sex with lots of different guys and things like before. It's not the same. I mean, I lost a lot of friends that way because I had friends that asked me, do you, remembered when they say, well, you used to buy cases of beer, or we'd go all over. I knew Independence before I knew you guys, because that was our favorite hole. My friends that had cars, our favorite hole to go to anywhere. So anyway, and it really changed because I'm like, no.
So now you've got your own car, you've got your driver's license.
Yep, I've got a driver's license, I've got a car, I graduated high school 20 years ago.
You got a job?
Got a job, a job, and I've got church activities I do, and I've got a cat of my own. I mean,
Tell us about some of your travels.
I've been to Colombia. Well, the one trip I went to was in Texas, but this one I went to Colombia here, twice, and that was fun. And I plan to go back again once all this is, Corona stuff is over, but sometime down the road. But that was fun because I opened up my eyes to see something more than myself. And this little Whitehall, Trumbull County is not so big.
What would you say to people that are listening?
Well, if I could say anything to people, I would say that never give up. It doesn't matter if you're, if you are diagnosed with ADHD or you have anything. Look at Einstein. They told him he wasn't going to amount to anything or go anywhere, that he was too dumb to learn anything, and look at how he did. Or Thomas Edison or anybody else, the maker of the first car. I mean, these people were told they couldn't do it. They weren't good enough. No, it's never going to work. The car's not going to work. The light bulb's not going to work. This kid can't learn past kindergarten. Well, look at what happened. And that's what I give to people is, just keep trying, and everything.
Keep going for it.
Keep going for it. Keep trying. I've tried a lot of things. I've been able to help pull trees. We were just working with, trees in the field. I mean, I've helped, with a lot of things here at the church.
You've done a lot of things.
I've mowed lawn. I never got to do that before. I've tried things and they haven't worked, and I've tried things and they have worked, but at least I've got to try because I like coming here because you guys are the people that say you can try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you can try, and I've never been told I could try anything in my life. You know, I've had a few things we've done that you've told me never again, but at least you let me try them, but I never got a chance before.
Okay. Well, what else have we got this?
Well, I just want to pray for people. I just want to say to people that, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are, or young you are, or rich or poor, black or white, or Hispanic or Asian or whatever, that you can do anything. And Lord, I just want to pray for the people. Lord, if there's anybody out there that is struggling in this time of COVID-19 or in any disability or depression or financial troubles or anything, Lord, that you just help them out. You just help them, and you know, you be with them right now. The spirit of depression, go. Spirit of depression has to leave right now. Any diagnosis of cancer in males or female has to go. Everything has to bow to Jesus' name right now. Right now. Anything. Spina bifida or Lou Gehrig's disease or whatever is out there, just go and flee. I just got from the Lord, heart problems. Anybody's got a heart problem, heart arrhythmia or a heart attack or strokes, that it just goes and dissolves right now. I thank you.
Folks, that's something to think about.